Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the House of Liberation. I am so glad you're here. If you're new, my name is Kohenet Ya, and I am passionate about decolonial liberation. I'm passionate about my beautiful neurodivergent brain and my neurodivergent community. And I'm passionate about so many things. So I'm happy that you're here and let's talk about it. So I had talked about creating this series or this blah, blah, blah. And here we are finally. Of course, it's taken some time, but let's talk about the idea of resetting our lives by stopping the influx of external information. So, this video I've been so excited about. I've actually been having conversations about this in other places. So, it is serendipitous in many ways to talk about this at this juncture in our growth, in our history, in our changing, embodying, evolving, and all the things. So, as you know, one of the things that I've been sitting with is this idea of not just sitting with, but in the process of resetting my own life. Now, sometimes this can be called a midlife crisis. It can be called a million things. But I don't think it's any of those things. I think that at each juncture, depending the rhythm of your own life, you're going to come to these moments where you're looking at what serves and doesn't serve. You're looking at kind of how you've been in pattern or what's been your way of showing up that maybe is no longer serving you. It's not working in your relationships all over the place, right? And so part of the reset for me has also been this thing around the noise reduction. And so this is going to be a series, and this is the first in the series. So here's the thing: we're bombarded every day with so much energy, and what to me has become noise. Now it's coming in from all places, and I don't mean noise in a negative connotation, because one, as a neurodivergent, ADD, all the things brain, like I love learning, I love growing, I love reading, I'm down with TikTok, I'm down with IG. Not that I'm great at posting, but my information consumption, especially as a manifesting generator, which is part of the human design, my information consumption is huge, right? And part of the kind of this idea of reclaiming who you are and coming back to your center is also knowing how to set boundaries and shut out the external noise. When you're a person who's constantly reading for self-development, personal development, growth, healing, all the things, you are constantly taking in other people's thoughts, other people's ideas, which also means theories, which also means value systems. And the reason why I say that is because behind everything that we're all talking about on social media or in person, right, your expression is filled with your ideas, your principles, your life experiences, your values, your vision, your mission, all of those things, right? Want to, learn about different things, right? Just out of curiosity and a healthy desire to learn. And secondarily, if we have questions about fill in the blank. But what tends to happen is that and this came up also like in academia, right? Where there's this idea of like constantly referencing other resources and other sources. I believe in attribution. What I mean is that more often than not, we're constantly having to back up our own expression with evidence or something else. So we're constantly looking for associations and connections in that way. Beautiful, wonderful, except when you become so full of other people that you can't hear your own voice. And so, one of the things that I think to me is a powerful kind of first step in really reducing and stopping the influx of information is to take a break from social media, take a break from reading, and take a break from consuming information, right? And you may have to do this for work and you may have to do this for other really specific things, but keep the boundary to that. But when it comes to your personal time, when it comes to your own inhabitation, part of resetting your life is going to involve knowing and creating the space to hear yourself. If hearing yourself is often in the voice of another person or the thoughts of another person, that tends to be challenging because you're like the impulse and the principles and values that go behind it, you may not actually be aligned with, or it may not actually land and become an integration for you. And so knowing how to reduce or stop, like, videos on the internet, I mean, you name it. just creating a boundary in which you give yourself a container of time where you're not taking in massive amounts of information, right? So that you can begin to pay attention to your own inner voice and pay attention to your own thoughts and feelings. Now, if you understand energy, I mean, here's my phone. It's buzzing as we speak, right? That's information coming into my world. It's a energetic cord. They all are. And it's not one of those things where you got to be like, I don't want an energetic cord. I don't want this or that, right? Like, it's not that. It's really beginning your reset with being able to listen and create the space for what is longing to emerge. Thoughts of your own, creativity, ideas, feelings that maybe you've pushed down and have had to kind of like, put aside or put on the shelf because you don't have the time for it. So, what I want to invite you to do is to actually look at your calendar and take a break from social media and other sources of external information and make space in your life for your own mindfulness and like your own self-reflection, right? And I would even venture to say, like, this is not the time for you to ask for advice or things like any external noise for this moment, whatever it's, if it's like 2 days, the weekend, a week, maybe longer, right? However long you've been kind of in consumption mode, give yourself a good window of saying, you know what, and if you own a business or any of those things, you can pre-schedule your stuff, right? So maybe you might need to set up a process before you get there. But actually, the same way we do with vacations and other things, book a window of time for yourself in which you're like, I am actually not going to be on. And also, like, if you're the type of person who people call and you're in support of others, etc. Again, if it's work related, of course we understand, and so you make your boundaries around that so that you're not carrying it through your day, and also setting boundaries around the amount of conversations or availability that you have to offer and create space for others to talk, but not necessarily for you to be in your own listening. Right. And so that may be, of course, use your wisdom, right? This is not a dogma. It's not dogmatic, but for your break, allow yourself to actually be able to hear your own thoughts, hear your feelings, give yourself that space. So that's the challenge that I want to offer. This is, step one in this process of like reducing this noise and getting back to listening to your own thoughts and your own inner emergings. In our next video, we're going to talk about the importance of creating space for meditation and mindfulness. But I have twists on these things because I think that they're trendy words. And I think also that it's been shaped in a particular way that doesn't allow us to really explore what works for us. And so many people, when they hear meditation, they run in the other direction because they think it's all stillness, or the form of stillness is something that is not accessible. So we'll talk about that in the next video. I'm so excited, finally. And so thank you for watching, and stay tuned on more goodness in resetting your life and creating a clean slate for you to bloom and blossom in. So have a wonderful day. I hope to talk to you soon. This is Kohenet, and I shall see you in the next video.